Good morning, everyone. Good evening uh, from wherever you are. Thanks and welcome again to this session, whereby today we want to discuss about some of the strategies that we can use to empower our learners, who in this case are our students, using our own learning management systems. So my name is George Ominde. Uh, I'm in Nairobi. So in my village, there's a saying that says that whatever you have in your hands is what you can use for your problems. For example, if you have something, then when things come to shove, then what you have could be your uh, could be your doing. You could actually use it to flip and then get out of the situation which you are in. So that saying resonates with our topic of discussion today, whereby we will be checking on how you could use what you already have for those who already have the learning management systems, how they can use that to their advantage and to actually make learning more enjoyable and even more educative towards their students and even the lecturers at large. So we already know that we are in a tight spot at this particular juncture, whereby we have seen an increase in the use of online technologies, that is the learning management systems, as modes of delivery of learning materials. So for example, 6 months ago, or let me say last year, the amount of use, that is the use of technology in the online space, I think it has grown tremendously because of the current scenario where we have the COVID-19. And we know that some institutions had started using the learning management systems, but they were not fully using it in terms of the face-to-face students, or sometimes what we call the regular students, or in the normal formal classrooms. They preferred to use these the learning management systems for distance learning students. So in that case, what we find is that the learning management systems that are being used by the digital school students elsewhere are actually they already have a foot forward, because that is the environment that they have always been learning through. So let me go right into it. So we will look at the different strategies to use, that is to bring the students to books. So the first point that we want to uh, check on is that uh, resonating with that is that you need to bank on the strengths of your LMS, the learning management systems. So we know that there are numerous learning management systems around, and one of the challenges that institutions normally have is how to choose the effective learning management system, a one-stop shop where you can have uh, most of your uh, learning, or most of your features. So what happens is that you find that once you make a decision and you decide that this is what we are going to use, then what happens is that you have to now customize it and improve it so that it gives the best learning experience for your students, because sometimes changing learning management systems can also be a challenge, because it comes with a lot of things. So it comes with the change management. It comes with maybe the data migration and all these kind of challenges. So institutions normally don't want to move from one technology to another, and even when they do, it is always calculated, and it takes some time for the entire process to go through. So in that case, what we are saying is that whatever you have, you could use your learning management system if it has the features that you need, and then you could use it, bank on the strengths. If your strength is just the collaboration, then you bank on that that kind of feature. You make sure that you utilize it to the fullest so that it brings out the best in terms of the collaboration. If you want it for learning, then that is what you need to concentrate on, the learning activities and everything else that comes with it, so that you are able to directly or even indirectly use it to the benefit of all the users. So the learning management systems comes with several other features. For example, there could be attendance. So maybe you want to utilize the attendance system for the whole institution. So you could use the learning management, the attendance functionality for the learning management system for the entire institution. So you don't need to actually put more money on the biometric attendance system, because what you'll find that right now with the scenarios whereby now we don't want to be touching things, then it means now we are shifting from the biometric technologies to the other software, like the soft technology, whereby you don't need to, you just attend it online and that's it. So you could utilize all those features. It could be the e-library, it could be timetabling, it could be compliance, it could be the mobile apps that we have and everything else. So you could use all that to actually bring it to the advantage of the students. Then the second strategy is that you could make the learning more interactive. So we know that sometimes when you talk about using the content, moving from face-to-face to distance learning or to online learning, the misconception is that what you do is you take the content and then you paste it online and then that's it. So the online learning actually will not be as effective as face-to-face learning if there is no interactivity, because that is what is always lacking in terms of online learning. So face-to-face, because we have grown up with it, we go to school, we go to the classes, we attend the lectures, and the teacher is there. We have the live interaction. We can ask questions. They can explain concepts as and when we ask. So we need to bring the exact same experience online and make our content interactive such that we are able to actually do everything in that space, whereby if we have to ask questions, then we can ask it and they're able to respond, and we are also able to see everything, all the expressions, the face, facial expressions, the gestures, and everything else. So when we do that, we can incorporate very many things like videos. We can do everything that will bring the collaborations. We can discuss discussion forums. We can ask questions directly. We can do everything that will enable the learning be more interactive, because when learning is interactive, it becomes fun, so that it's not a one-way like an instruction-based learning, but it comes more of a collaborative learning. Because what I learned in one of my units at the in university is that what the lecturer could do is that on the first day he would come up with a course outline, and then he would divide the students into groups, and then you would give, let's say like lesson one or concept one, you will give it to first group, the second one to the second group, third one to the next group, like that. And then now it will be the students who will be actually presenting that topic. So he needed not to actually create the content himself. So the content was actually coming from the students themselves. So what we could do is that we could discuss, because for us to come up with the content, we could discuss and collaborate and do all these other things. Then the lesson day is that now when we will deliver that lesson, then he would add on it and then sum it up, and then everybody would be happy. So it will be actually our content. So sometimes we usually joke like, if you wanted to ask the lecturer a question, then he would tell you, okay, ask George and his team, because they were the people who are in charge of that. Then we could actually respond because we had interacted and done everything that is needed within that platform. So interactivity is key. So you could make them interact within the platform, because sometimes we know that WhatsApp is very powerful in terms of interaction and collaboration. If they are collaborating outside, sometimes you don't get the feedback. But then if they're doing that, you make your platform interactive and you push everything else inside it, then you'll get more feedback, and the analytics will show you that you're going into the right direction. So let's try and make our content as interactive as possible, and not just pick the text and then paste it online, then assume that you have created the content. We need to have the PowerPoint presentations, we need to have the videos, we need to have the audios, we need to have everything that will entail interactivity into the platform, and then that will be able to push us to the next level. And then the third strategy is that what you need to do is you need to hop in the augmented reality or the virtual reality trend. See, technology is growing very fast, and we know that technology has, as it grows, it has a fair share of challenges or even problems, but then we tend to focus on the benefits that it brings to us. For example, we expect institutions, when you're using your learning management system, you can go deeper into these aspects of augmented reality, whereby you could find that you could use these other features, the existing reality, and then you put it with some objects so that it triggers, the technology can generate enhancements, and then it will put it on top of the reality, the real life. For example, if there is an environment, you can pick a technology, an item, put it there, and then just show it like it's actually in real life, whereas we know that it is not in real life. So this kind of, when you mix this within your LMS, then what you find is that a more interactive, or even a more friendlier system. Fun is the word. So it will be fun having this kind of things within your LMS. Because picture this: if I'm going to get fun when I'm learning, then I would gain more knowledge, because what people normally do is that they keep more time actually for doing their watching movies and doing all those other things. But then if you can now use the technology and bring certain aspects of the technology which are exciting to the students, then the students will actually they will be looking forward to your lessons, rather than being there just for the sake of it. So this kind of trends, when they get out, you need to bring them into your learning management systems, and then just put it there, so that as the students learn, they will also be learning this thing. And then one of the things that we have always seen as a technology firm is that sometimes when you bring certain kinds of technologies for use, or certain kind of features, sometimes you get the unintended benefits out of the students. For example, sometimes you just introduce one of the features, not knowing, like right now what has happened is that yes, the students, let's say at the university level, they know how to probably use a computer, the basics. They know how to maybe write their names and all that. Some good percentage, you would say 30%, know how to perfectly use the computers and everything. But then 70% might have the basic skills, some might not. But then what we have seen is that when now the learning has shifted online, and they were given, like some institutions were told to do their exams online, then we see that now one of the unintended benefits of that is that in the second semester or the third semester, the students will now, I would say 90%, know how to type fast, they will know how to do all these other things, because that is there was that aspect of technology, but then the unintended, because now you have to practice. If you didn't know how to type, now you have to practice, because all your examinations will be online, and there will be nothing that will be happening if you don't know how to type. Then it means you will not be sitting for your exam. So such kind of things always bring some of the unintended benefits. So you could hop into the AR, VR trends, wherever you have augmented reality, virtual reality. You could even have mixed reality or even extended reality. All these other uh, uh, growths in technology can actually be incorporated so that you make your LMS and learning fun, and you'll be able to proceed. Then the fourth strategy is actually to customize learning. So we know that universities and even colleges and even other organizations, they have their learning, so you could customize learning in terms of what you actually want to do. You can define your learning paths the way you want it to happen, and then if you have different uh, groups of students, then you can as well use that. You could say, for example, for uh, self-paced learning, this is what we're going to do. Then for the other kinds of learning, then this is the direction that we want to take. So you could customize that around all that, and then you will be able to get the best out of your students, because people are, let's say we are now home and everybody is trying to learn, and then people have different uh, uh, needs. So you could customize it in that way. So for example, if you have cohorts and these cohorts are for certain courses, then you could customize it to those kind of trainings. For example, some might have trainings for maybe 1 week. Some could be 3 semester training. So you could customize them in such a way that they will bring the best out of the student. So customization is broad, and I would just want to leave it at that and say that all you need to do is to customize your learning, and then you will be able to learn in that way. Then one of the things that now we want to check is, of course, from MLIM, so I want to show you how our solution can also be used for that. So number one, student-centric MLM as a student-centric learning management system. So some of the things that we have is we give high degree uh, engagement. So we have a product that can engage the students. And then the second thing is that we blend it and it's collaborative. And then the students can use it with the entire uh, lecturer populace or the instructors and everybody else. And then the students can also have the opportunity to work from their own spaces. So the technology, it's a flexible and dynamic technology that can be used elsewhere. And then we have several features for assessments within the product. And then MLIMO, they have personalized technology. So we do it as the client needs. So let me show you now how to empower your learners with self-paced online training. So for example, like I had mentioned, so there is self-paced, the people who are doing it, they want to learn on their own. They want to do it at their own speed and at their own time. So how do you empower these learners? Because that is what you need to understand. If you have this kind of groups, then what do you do? So once you identify that you have this kind of group, then this is what you need to do. So number one, you need to have a flexible, engaged learning culture. If I want to join your programs and I will be using your learning management system, then your learning management system has to be flexible, and it should allow me to join the courses at any point that I want. So assuming this is a short course, so let's say like right now we have the COVID situation. So maybe you want to train on COVID preparedness and COVID preparedness and let's say and implementation. So if you have that course and you want to train it, then if I want to join today as a nurse or as a medical practitioner, then the technology should allow me to register today and start learning at my own pace. So I could start today itself and continue. You give it a timeline, and I can be able to finish it in my own space. Then I should know the learning part, how I need to do it. Because if you're not going to allow that, if you're not flexible, then and you tell me that no, for that I have to register in January 2021. At January 2021, I will be thinking about something else. So we need to actually use our technology to be flexible, so that we are able to accommodate all kinds of students that we have. Then the second part is that you need to have a scalable revenue generating model. For example, if these students who are joining your courses, uh, these students, you could have a revenue generating model whereby you could put some cost to it, and then that cost would be going towards maybe the development of the modules and consultation fee of the lecturer. So that if you could generate something from that, then actually you could grow your revenue and you could have more money to actually pay the lecturers and even do certain things. So when you have a scalable revenue sharing, revenue generating learning model, then you are able to generate more income, and then you will be able to even improve in terms of the ratio of students to uh, the teachers. And then the third thing that you need is that you need to have a cost-effective, convenient, self-paced learning environment. So it has to be cost-effective. So let's say I'm joining, I want to join the program. If it is exorbitant, then I will be thinking twice or even three times before I join. So it needs to be a technology that is cost-effective. The costs are affordable for your target market. So affordable is also relative, because sometimes you would say that for this caliber of users, we will charge this, then for this other caliber of this group, we will charge this, and for this, we will charge this. So it has to be cost effective, because if I was charging, for example, some other people would say $100, then if I was charging another group, I would say $80. If I was charging another group, then sometimes when you are giving also to society, because for us, we also do that, then we would say, okay, let's do it at this rate. So when we have all these, then the self-paced learners will actually just be onboarded, and then they will flow and they will be attached to the programs until they finish. And then the other benefit also is that remote and mobile connectivity for the learning on the go. You need to have a solution that can be used in the remote areas, because, for example, you could find that if I'm a medical practitioner, like I have used in my example before, and I am sent into different regions of the country, so I could because I could be sent to a rural area. But when I'm learning about COVID preparedness and implementation, I would want to get updates onto everything. So maybe there is internet challenge in my, or the bandwidth challenge in my posted area. So what do I do? So I need to have remote mobile connectivity, or the app or the solution that I can use offline, and I'm able to do everything else that I was doing if I was at the city or at a place with good connectivity. So that is what we are talking about. So you need a reliable technology that can be used offline, and it can be used on your palms, and it can also it should also be preferred over other applications. For example, if I have WhatsApp and I have maybe Facebook and I have Instagram and I have all these other ones, by the Bible, so your technology should also be at the fingertips of your students, so that because these days when you do the research, you'll find that if somebody has phone and they have the various apps, if you give them a laptop as well, or if they were in a place whereby they cannot open their laptop, then you will see where they actually spend their time. And those apps are actually there to show you. So you will see how they're able to do that. But then if you have a technology that can be used as well in that offline, then actually they will spend more of their time. Let's say I have bundles, I have data, and I wanted to check something online, then immediately it disconnects. Then I have no option but to go to your course and to study. So I will be reaping the benefits of not having data, but I will not stop, but I will now go to check. So that those are some of the benefits of having an offline technology that will allow you to you and your students to actually use the solution. And then for even the content creators, that are the lecturers and the teachers, using the technology, they can also use it to create content offline. They can record their voices using the audio feature. They can attach other learning materials, for example, the resources like PDF documents, could be Word documents, could be PowerPoint presentations, could be reports. They could attach links that to other resources, and all that they're able to do. And then they are also able to actually record their own content using the Blackboard or the board feature, whereby they can use their hands to just write everything that they want to scribble. So their hands will be their pen, and they are able to write that, and their voices will be recorded. And when they post it to everybody else, then they will actually get the experience of the classroom itself, and they will be able to use that, and they can then read it and give feedback, and they will be asking questions and all that. And then the other one is the curated content to meet the needs of every student. So you just need to have content that is flexible, that will actually provide content to every other person. You are unique, so you are able to do that. So maybe at the beginning of your of the course, you could have. I often see some organizations, they have at the beginning of the course there's an assessment. There's something like a quiz whereby they access certain aspects, and then that is tied into your uh, learning needs, so that when you answer certain questions in a certain direction, then it knows, the system automatically knows how you would want to take your courses, and how it will rearrange itself, and how so that it will guide you on how you will actually like it. So I might be learning the same course, but I will have different learning paths from the other person who will also have the same course, but it can be a different learning path. So these are things that are possible with the technology. Then I also want to show you how you can do that with the other group. That is when you want to um, manage the people who are socially learning. So what do you need? If I'm socially learning, then one of the things that I will need from the technology is that I will need live feeds or learning feeds, so that if my lecturer is in, let's say, in Addis Ababa or in Nairobi, and is giving updating something on the platform, then I should be able to receive an alert immediately, and then I should be able to check what update has been done, so that if the lecturer is saying, oh, there is something interesting, please check on this article, then I should be able to just get it immediately, and I'm able to do that. And then I could also be able to share this one on all these networking platforms, whereby we have LinkedIn, the Facebook, everything. And then learning will be fun, because sometimes right now you can actually go to the internet and you could see an interesting perspective or some content, whereby now you can, now when you see it, you read it through, then you can also share it back to your LMS with your other students, and that will actually bring more and more fulfillment in terms of learning across your students. Then the other thing is that you can facilitate effective discussions. So you could have normal discussions within the platform, and then you will be able to track what the students or the users are saying, so that if they are critiquing your delivery, then that is also good. You need to now improve on that, and then you can also guide them accordingly when they are actually going outside. Because what I've seen, let's say in social media, you'd find that there is a medical, not there are these groups, very many groups of students. So you could find, I saw a certain medical institution where the students were posting. So somebody could post a toe injury, then he would ask, what is the prescription of this? So imagine how, so for me, it looked like fun because I would look at it and I would say, oh, let me see what's happening. But then there are jokers who come into the platform and then they can mislead the public, because that is something, information that is outside there. So what happens is that you need to have those kind of discussions within the LMS, so that you are able to guide, so that if somebody is going off, then you need to actually direct them into getting the same kind of discussions, because sometimes it is very dangerous to mislead, because maybe two people will pick the information which could actually injure their reputation. Then the third one, of course, you need to harness the power of the learners to generate content. So the learners can actually generate the content for you, so that you are able to uh, get the content. Because one of the challenges is that we normally face is that when we go to an institution and we tell them that we have a platform for you, they would ask you, do you sell content as well? So we will tell them, no, we are technology experts. What you need to do is to have your own content. But then they will say, no, we don't have content. So the content can actually come from the students, because let's say you pick it, you put a title there, you give the students the groups, you arrange them into groups, then you ask them to create certain topics, then they will discuss with the other groups. The content will be created, and it will be, believe me, it will be more fun, and they will be enjoying that kind of content. And then let me check. And then the other thing is that how can your LMS facilitate collaborative learning? So I think yeah, so the other one is that you can have also the game-based learning. So you can incorporate that, so that instead of going to play outside, we can play within the system, and you could see which kind of games I like, and then you could use that to actually harness my potential, and then you can even grow my potential in a certain, you can shift it into a certain direction. And then you can also integrate with other tools so that you are able to have a fully fledged learning management system. And then lastly, you can centralize your training materials and information to earn generated content. So that is also something that can be done. So thanks for your time. So I would now encourage you to ask questions so that we are able to respond. So let me first see if we have questions. So Joel Mushuye says, great idea, thank you very much. We appreciate. Valentino Dang say, may I request to have the presentation emailed to us? And then, so he has given his email. We will do that surely, Valentino. And then there is Benedict Perumal. Please email me as well. Excellent presentation. Kind regards. So we will email you immediately after the webinar. So any other questions on the strategies that we could use to empower your students using the learning management system? Yeah, so if there are no questions, then we can end it. So I can see that all you need is to be emailed the presentation. So thank you very much, Dr. Gladys. I can see you. I can see Ali. Thanks for always supporting us. Have a good day and bye-bye.